Hey, bud. I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down in pieces for you. So I'm going to start off by talking about the rhythm sections of the song and some variations rhythmically. Obviously, I don't know you, so I'm certainly not trying to be offensive in that I don't think you know how to play it. I'm just going to give you some different ideas of some things I would do rhythmically, and then you can kind of choose from those. I was looking at the sheet that you sent me with the chord changes on it, and it all looks really good. There's one section that we're going to change in there. I got to try and find it here, but I'll talk about that a little bit. So the first thing what we're going to do here is just to get this rhythm stuff out of the way, and then I'll start doing all the solo stuff and breaking that down for you, is the beginning of the song. Now, when you play this, there's a number of different rhythm styles that you could do with a song like this. Obviously, it's got a really cool groove to it, and when you play something like this, you know, my philosophy, again, is that when you're playing a song, there's always one of two things. Either you're playing something exactly the way it's supposed to be played, because it needs to be played that way. You know, if I went, I really don't have a choice of changing Cat Scratch Fever into something else. It is what it is. But if I was jamming a song like, the beginning of this reminds me of Your Mama Don't Dance by Loggins and Messinas, you know, that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some different rhythmic ideas that you can work with to the beginning of this song. And then we'll talk about the chord changes. I'll send you this one, and then I'm going to start working on all the little breaks and stuff and send you all of those. So the beginning of this song, what we've got, of course, is we're playing in the key of E. I would certainly be doing this at the 7th fret of the 5th string. There's a lot of room for variance here when you're doing this. You know, like you could be doing, obviously there's that slide from 6 to 7, and then it starts the riff, which is the blues hammer-on, or not hammer-on, but the blues 6th that we're adding on, which is the pinky, right? Now here's a couple other variances of that same idea, but using some different rhythms, okay? So I'm going to do the same idea. The big thing here is that this song's got a lot of upstrum funk to it, which is almost a bit more, not reggae in nature, but it certainly has that kind of element to it. So when I go like this, and I could do something like that. I might do something where I'm just doing, like when the verse starts, for instance, I'm going to still do that little slide, but I might go into just more upstrums like this. Now on the B, I was a little bit questioning whether or not I want to do the slide or not. I think you could get away with it. I don't know that they're doing it. So if I wanted to do the whole little verse section with slides, I could go. And it would sound just fine. If you didn't want to do all the slides, if you just wanted to keep the slide on the E, which is the prominent one, that would be fine too. You know, that sort of thing. And then what we've got is the chorus. Now in the chorus, I probably wouldn't do the blues thing, although it would be fine. It sounds a little weird over some of those chords. So, you know, maybe over the E I could add the blues thing. This is on the chorus now. See, so over the E, I think it would be just fine. The rest of it, I probably wouldn't. Now, again, you could play it more power chord oriented, where you're just playing the top couple of notes of each chord, right? To give it more of a power chord rock and roll feel when you're playing. Okay, if you want to play the whole chord, that's perfectly fine. Now That would be just fine too. See, the fun of this is that, especially with a song like this, is you have a lot of space to have some fun rhythmically with this song. You know, it's not all that kind of thing. You're just sort of playing a variety of different rhythms. So it's kind of what you're feeling at the time. Okay, I might do them as bar chords, I might do them as open chords. Obviously, you can see I'm playing it up here. You wouldn't have to. You could play, you know, E down here. I think it sounds a little bit heavy. You know what I mean? Or if I play E up here, it sounds a little bit more light. You know, I apologize for my tone. It probably isn't really the appropriate tone for this right now, but anyway, so you could use something like that where you're moving from E to A to C sharp minor to F sharp minor. You know, down here that would be fine. Again, I don't think it really matters. I think the big thing is just finding your groove. So there's some different variances of rhythms that you could do. Like if I was going to play this rhythm in a band, I might be doing. You know, or maybe add the blues thing on the E. You know, that sort of thing. Just kind of have some fun with it. In the verses, you can definitely feel that things are tighter in there. Where the chorus is more loose, there's a lot more strumming going on. The verses tend to sound more. Again, bar chord's fine, power chord's fine. When I teach students, I try to make sure that they understand that even when these guys play these songs live, they don't replicate every single note of every single thing exactly the same. It's the groove that you need. You know, you can't go changing chords because you choose to, obviously. That's not going to work either. But the groove of the song is what you're trying to create. This whole motion of your strumming, you know, trying to get that thing going. So the part I do want to talk about, though, is the break, that Changing Our Love is Going Gold section. At first, when I was looking at it, it looked like it was going from E to, I think you had D sharp diminished. I wouldn't play D sharp diminished. At first I thought maybe it would be okay to go from E to like a slash chord moving down, and I'll talk about those in just a second, but I wouldn't do that. I think it's going E up to F sharp major, and then it goes down to D, and then this is where again we have a couple of options of things. We could go from D to A to B. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going E, F sharp major, excuse me, major, not minor. That's the big thing there. D, A, B. Okay, now a lot of the songs that I play, there's a lot of what I refer to as slash chords. Obviously, a lot of people use these. If I thought of it as a power chord, for instance, right here, I'm on 7 and 9 on the 5th string and the 4th string, playing a power chord. I'm using my pinky. Sometimes I use my 3rd finger, but it doesn't matter, whatever you like there. And it's when I drop my 1st finger down a fret to do that chord. Okay, when you do that, that's actually referred to as an E chord, but with E flat in the bass, or D sharp in the bass, whatever you want to call it. But what you're really honestly doing there is you're actually playing, if you've never done this before, you're actually playing a B major chord. So the easiest way to see this is if I play an E chord at the 7th fret, and I drop my 1st finger down to the 6th fret, my middle finger now, if I put that up on the 7th, or the 6th string, it'd be at the 7th fret. You'll see that right there is kind of the makings of a B major chord, like G, but moved up to B here. Okay, so all you really ever have to do is if you want a slash chord, which I like the sound of these slash chords, but if you want to play it as a full-blown chord, you just hike up to the 6th string right above you. And I'm going to show you the example of that. For instance, the place where you could use this would be, we're going from E to F sharp major, down to D, and here's where it is. Now you could go to A, which is right above it, like I just said, or you could go from your D and then slash down. Okay. Now again, when you slash it, you can't play the rest of the D major chord, though. That's what stinks. So it's a little bit more power chordy in nature. Now again, if we were having a session on chords, we could go into all that, but I just want you to hear the difference. So if I went, one moving to the A sounds more absolute. And if I was playing in a band with two guitar players, one guy would do one and one guy would do the other, and it would sound awesome. So what I would do if I were you is I would play from E to F sharp major down to D, and then choose whether you want to go to A and then B, or you want to go from D to the slash chord, which means you're just taking the first finger down to the 4th fret of the 5th string, and then your B chord, or up here. Again, obviously you can email me with any questions about this and I'll help you with this, but that's the whole tune. And then it goes right back into it. Now there's the you're dumb, right, which is A to B, those jumps. You are still the one, that thing. Or here again. And again, bar chords, power chords, open chords. I don't think it really matters. I think it's just a matter of trying to find which one feels most comfortable. And the other thing to always think about too is from a visual aspect. This song is very straightforward in terms of its chord changes because there isn't a lot happening. But if you're constantly switching where you're trying to figure out where the chords are, it can become kind of a nightmare in any song. So the easiest thing is just to kind of keep everything in the same place. So like for me, my verse and my chorus, if I was playing this, I would play those as 7th fret of the 5th string, and then A, B, C sharp would all be done on the 6th string, and then F sharp I'd probably throw down here. I could do it up here, but I'd probably play it down here. And then that little break, the changing our love is going gold, I'd play E to F sharp major up here, because you can hear it go up when you listen to the song. It doesn't go, it doesn't really drop, it goes up, and then D, and then again, whether you want to do A or the slash chord. See, they really do sound quite a bit different, but they are the same chord. That's what's so cool about them. Again, if I was a solo guitar player in a band, I probably would go to this and play it that way. So what we'll do is let's work with that first section. Now you should have all the rhythm stuff, and you can email me about questions about that. And now I'm going to get started on the fills and then the lead section for you.